So in today's video, I want to go over a few different things. And one of the questions I want to answer is, are they lying about the high deductible plan G? Is it better than the Medicare Advantage plans? Are the Medicare Advantage plans better than the high deductible G? Or is plan G and plan N wipe out both of these Advantage and high deductible plans? So let's take a look at the raw data so we can answer these questions. Now, the first thing that I want to mention is when it comes to Medicare Advantage plans, these plans typically go by your county that you live in. So you do not want to ask somebody in a different state what plan they're on and what benefits they have. You want to make sure that it's someone that lives around you because these plans change dramatically from state to state, county to county. But I'm giving some examples from 3 different areas with the Medicare Advantage plans, and I'm also going to go over the high deductible plan G, which basically is in comparison to the Medicare Advantage plans, as well as the G and the N. So let's dive into the data. So first, let's take a look at the high deductible plan G. And if you leave a comment, I do read the comments. People benefit from your comments, especially if you're on the plan or know someone. So please keep leaving your comments. We do appreciate them. So the high deductible plan G. I did a comparison basically of for the premiums in different sections of the country. And I've had this chart up before, but I kind of leave the same numbers because it's easy to do a comparison that way. So for the high deductible plan G, if you are 65 years old, the average you will pay is $40 a month. Now, what does that cover? Well, it's the high deductible is what you pay for the first part of the 20% that you owe. So for instance, Medicare will pick up the 80%, but you're going to pay that deductible of the 20% no matter what you do for the first $2,700. So what does this mean? Well, the first thing that you need to do, of course, is look at your premium. If it's $40 a month, this is for someone who's 65, times that by 12 months, and you get $480. That's going to come out of your pocket no matter what, to the company. Now let's just take a look real quick at my quote engine. Let's put up somebody who's 75 years old who wants to look at the high deductible G. And let's just put that in there. And let's see what they would be paying in comparison. So if we look here, we're looking at, wow, 75 years old. In this certain section, it's $57.82. Now, this is a little bit different because this is the same year. As the years go by, these plans go up. So 57 is going to turn into about 75, maybe $100 in 10 years. So let's just go off of $100 if you get on now and then 10 years later you're on the same plan. But let's get back to the chart. So $40, times the 12 months, and then you add either $2,700 to come up with the full amount that you would possibly pay, or just add, let's say you go to the doctor's 3 times and the doctor's visit is $100 each time. That's what the doctor charges. You're going to owe that 20%, which would be $20. So that's only $60 that you would owe on top of the $480. But if you spend the total amount, it's over here. Now let's jump into the Advantage plans and take a look. This is very interesting. So I feel like the Advantage plans are really in competition with the high deductible plan G. The reason being is they're both kind of high deductible plans, but a lot of people will say, hey, and I've seen this in the comments, so thank you for commenting this. They will say the difference is that the high deductible plan G does not come with a drug plan, dental, vision, and hearing, a gym membership, and these little benefits that the Medicare Advantage plans come with. But here's 3 different plans. So what is the difference? Well, you're going to pay a set amount with a lot of these Advantage plans. So whether you get a PPO or an HMO, as you see here, they're all 0 premium, so you're not paying anything. But your hospital coverage is going to be different depending on what plan you get. Some plans will be $50 a day. Other plans will be $250. Other plans might be $350. So you definitely have to look at what your hospital stay would be. Then on top of that, your doctor's visits might be 0 for a primary, and then either $35 for a specialist or $5. And then of course I have down here CAT scans. They can be different prices. But the real kicker is the max out of pocket. So if you look over here, you're going to want to ask your agent what is the max out of pocket for this Advantage plan? That is the big kicker. And then, of course, you want to ask in network and out of network. Let's jump back over to the high deductible plan. So we know the max out of pocket that you will spend is $3,180 if your premium is $40. So why would you get a plan G as opposed to this plan? Well, number one, if you go to the doctor a lot, or you go to the hospital, or you're sickly, or you anticipate, hey, I'm getting older, I'm going to start going to the doctor, hospital many more times. Look at what it is. So it's $100 more a month to get on this plan G, but you pay that $140 times 12 months plus the $226, and that's it. You never pay another dime for hospital and doctor. That will equal $1,906. A lot of people like this because that's what they pay. Hey, I know what I pay each month, and that's the end of it. But the kicker is it does not come with a drug plan or a vision, dental, and hearing plan. So you'll have to tack on what that cost is. Now, for some people, once again, it's individual. Can't just say this is what it costs throughout the entire country or any state. It's individual. So some people, on the average, they say $35 a month for your drug plan. I've seen many people pay $5 a month for their drug plan because they're on generics and they don't cost that much. So you have to really dig into the drug plans when you're getting a supplement plan. Same thing with dental, vision, and hearing. The average is tacking on another $40. I've seen $60. This is definitely an expense for a lot of people. So high deductible plan G, why would you get this as opposed to plan G, plan N, or a Medicare Advantage plan? Well, there's two reasons, and I'm going to get into this, and this is all data generated in my mind. So the high deductible G, number one, when you first get on Medicare, I always say you really want to think about getting on a Medigap plan as opposed to a Medicare Advantage, because you can always jump over to a Medicare Advantage plan. And here is the thing. I have mentioned this a ton of times. I have to talk to a client next week. There is a thing called a trial right, and so many agents do not know what it is. They don't talk about it. They don't want to deal with it. I understand why. It's very scary for people. But if you have never been on a Medicare Advantage plan and you get on a GAP plan, no matter which one it is, high deductible G or N, whatever it is, you can try a Medicare Advantage plan up to 12 months. No matter how sick you are, you can go back to the GAP plan if you've never had a Medicare Advantage plan. You can do this once in your lifetime. It's called a trial right. So I would always advise, hey, check out the high deductible G, and then if your friends and family say, oh, I got this Advantage plan, jump on that plan, and you can go back a month, like January or February or March or December of the next year. You try it for 6 months or a year, whatever it is, then you can go right back to the high deductible if you don't like it. Number two, well, the high deductible G is kind of like, it's exactly like the G plan, which is the top coverage in the country. And if you want a G plan, but you don't want to spend the money, you want the same coverage, but you're willing to take a risk of spending maybe $1,000 more if you use it to its entirety, then I would look at the high deductible G, because a lot of people don't want to pay this $140 or $300, whatever. It goes by your age and gender and so forth. So obviously, as you get older, it gets more expensive. I've seen in the comment section people say, my mom's paying $375 for her G plan per month. I get it. I've shown you my client list on some other videos that I've done, and you see the numbers. I have them going all the way up to $600. But that's only a couple people, but it's still, this is what happens after 10 or 15 years. It just keeps rising. But most of the people are paying under $300 a month. I can tell you that. Now, I can't quote anyone unless they actually call my office, so I won't get into those type of numbers. But high deductible G is great for those two things. If you want a plan G, but you do not want to spend that premium out of pocket, but you want the same benefits and take a risk of spending $1,000 more in case something really bad happens, you go into the hospital and doctor. But here's the thing. Take a look at this chart, and I hope you stayed this far into the video. Medicare Advantage plans, this is undeniable. They have gone up by 2.2 million people in the last year. That's an 8% increase. The year before, it was a 10% increase. So this is the chart that shows in 2010, only 25% of the people in this country that were on Medicare had a Medicare Advantage or enrolled in Medicare Advantage. It has steadily gone up until here we are now to 52%. That means original Medicare is only 48% of the people get on that. So what's the deal with that? Well, the thing is some of the Advantage plans, and I can tell you right now, depending on where you are, where I am originally from has a plan that is literally taking over the city, and it's from a huge, well-known company, and they've ran this Medicare Advantage plan really, really well. And from what I've seen, every time I punch in a hospital, every time I punch in a doctor, there's like 84,000 doctors that accept this plan. Everyone seems to accept this plan, and people are very, very happy on it. And I can tell you, if we look at this other chart, it's this one that has a 7,550 max out of pocket. If you look at this Medicare Advantage. So some of the other Medicare Advantage, let's go down here to this. Some of the other Medicare Advantages have these lower max out of pockets, but maybe they're not accepted at as many doctors or hospitals, or maybe the hospital stay is more like $295, but the max out of pocket is a little bit lower for in-network, but higher for out-of-network, like you see this $4,900 or $8,900. So what are people telling you about the high deductible plan G versus the Medicare Advantage or versus the other Medigap plans? From what I see, it's individualistic. Basically, it's you who are looking at the plans. Everyone can have an opinion, but it's based on what your thoughts are. Do you want to spend the money for a G plan? Do you want to get a Medicare Advantage plan because it has a drug plan attached to it and dental and so forth, and all your doctors accept it and your hospitals? Or do you want to get a high deductible G because all the doctors and hospitals accept it as long as they accept Medicare, which is way over 90% of the doctors and hospitals in this country? But my feeling is, like I said, the big kicker is that trial right. You can always go on a Medicare Advantage plan. If you're on a Medigap plan, you can try a Medicare Advantage plan for up to 1 year and go right back to that Gap plan with no underwriting. Now, you know the plan G, N, and high deductible G have underwriting, which means they ask you medical questions to accept you into the plan. Medicare Advantage plans do not do that. You're automatically accepted. I know there's going to be comments about Massachusetts and these type of places that have different Gap plans. I understand that, but this is for the mass majority of the other states in this country. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you need anything from me, you can call my office or please leave a comment. You can also go to my website and leave a comment there that's private that I can shoot you and email back to you and let you know my thoughts and feelings on your plans and so forth. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you at the next one.